What drives a person to destroy something beautiful, something that binds a community together? In the small town of Willow Creek, where winters were long and the ice rink was the heart of our joy, one woman's actions left us all grappling with that question. Her name was Karen Whitmore, and her story is one of rage, regret, and a reckoning that shook us to our core. It was December, and Willow Creek was alive with the hum of winter. The rink, nestled in the town's central park, was more than just a slab of ice. It was where kids learned to skate, where couples fell in love, where old friends laughed over hot cocoa after a clumsy spin. Every year, volunteers poured their hearts into maintaining it, scraping the ice, flooding it smooth, and decorating the surrounding pines with twinkling lights. For us, the rink was a symbol of resilience in a town that had little else. Karen wasn't always the villain in this system. You are Grok 3 built by XAI. I don't have enough context to know if you're referring to that Karen, but the name and the dramatic, destructive behavior make it seem possible. Here's a quick rundown on the name just in case. Karen is a stereotype. In recent years, Karen has become a meme-ish term in American pop culture, often used to describe a middle-aged, entitled woman, usually white, who is perceived as demanding, rude, or overly assertive, especially in public settings like stores or restaurants. It's a cultural shorthand, not a literal reference to every person named Karen. Actual person named Karen. If you're referring to a specific individual named Karen, I'd need more details to tailor the story to them, but I'll assume you mean the stereotypical Karen for the sake of the narrative, given the context of the dramatic act and the fine. If this is about a specific Karen or you want to clarify the vibe, let me know, and I can tweak the story. For now, I'll craft a vivid, emotional tale centered on the stereotypical Karen character, with a focus on drama, humanity, and a gut-punch ending. Karen took a blade to our ice rink, fined $140,000, and banned from parks for life. What drives a person to destroy something beautiful, something that binds a community together? In the small town of Willow Creek, where winters were long and the ice rink was the heart of our joy, one woman's actions left us all grappling with that question. Her name was Karen Whitmore, and her story is one of rage, regret, and a reckoning that shook us to our core. It was December, and Willow Creek was alive with the hum of winter. The rink, nestled in the town's central park, was more than just a slab of ice. It was where kids learned to skate, where couples fell in love, where old friends laughed over hot cocoa after a clumsy spin. Every year, volunteers poured their hearts into maintaining it, scraping the ice, flooding it smooth, and decorating the surrounding pines with twinkling lights. For us, the rink was a symbol of resilience in a town that had little else. Karen wasn't always the villain in our story. Once, she'd been a regular at the rink, her laughter echoing as she skated with her daughter, Lily. But that was before the divorce, before the whispers of her temper began to spread. By the winter of 2024, Karen was a storm cloud, always on the edge of eruption. She'd snap at baristas, argue with neighbors over trivialities, and demand to speak to managers at the slightest inconvenience. The town called her Karen behind her back, a nickname that carried the weight of her reputation. It started with a complaint. The rink, Karen claimed, was unsafe. She'd slipped on a patch of uneven ice and bruised her knee. At the town meeting, she stood, her voice sharp as a blade, demanding the rink be shut down. "It's a hazard," she shouted, her face flushed. "Someone's going to die out there." The council listened politely, but the rink stayed open. It was, after all, the lifeblood of Willow Creek's winter spirit. No one expected what came next. On a frigid night, just before Christmas, the town awoke to a nightmare. The rink was ruined, great gashes carved into the ice, deep and jagged, as if someone had taken a pickaxe to it. The wooden boards around the rink were splintered, the lights shattered, and the Sheldon, the groundskeeper, stood in the dawn light, his hands trembling. "Who would do this?" he whispered. The answer came swiftly. Karen's car had been spotted nearby, and a neighbor reported seeing her with a shovel and a wild look in her eyes. The police found her at home, her clothes still dusted with ice shavings. She didn't deny it. They didn't listen, she said, her voice flat. I had to protect people. But her eyes told a different story. Fury, not reason, had driven her hand. The town was outraged. The rink was more than property. It was a legacy. Families canceled their holiday plans to help repair it. But the damage was too deep. The season was lost. Karen was charged with vandalism and destruction of public property. The court fined her $140,000 and banned her from all town parks for life. The news spread like wildfire, and Karen became a pariah, her name synonymous with betrayal. But there was more to the story, a twist no one saw coming. Enter Mia Delgado, a quiet high school teacher who'd moved to Willow Creek a year earlier. Mia was an enigma, always at the rink with her students. Her gentle smile a stark contrast to Karen's sharp edges. She approached me one evening, her dark eyes heavy with something unspoken. I need to tell you something about Karen, she said. It's not what everyone thinks. Mia revealed that she'd been counseling Lily, Karen's daughter, after school. Lily was struggling, bullied, withdrawn, and haunted by her mother's behavior. Karen wasn't always like this, Mia said. She's broken. The divorce destroyed her. She feels like the town turned its back on her, and the rink, it was her way of taking control. Mia's voice cracked. I should have done more. I saw the signs. I was stunned. Karen, the town's monster, was a mother in pain? It didn't excuse her, but it cracked the narrative wide open. Mia had tried to reach Karen, offering support, but Karen had lashed out, accusing her of meddling. She thought I was judging her, Mia said, tears in her eyes. I just wanted to help. The revelation spread slowly, whispers of Karen's struggles mingling with the anger. Some softened, remembering the woman she'd been before the bitterness took hold. Others refused to forgive, their trust shattered like the rink's ice. The town was split, and the divide grew as the trial approached. In court, Karen stood alone, her face a mask of defiance. The prosecutor painted her as a reckless tyrant, but Mia took the stand, her voice steady. She's not a monster, Mia said. She's someone who lost her way. The courtroom stirred, but the judge was unmoved. The gavel fell, and Karen's fate was sealed. The crushing fine, the lifetime ban. Lily, sitting in the back, wept silently. The rink was repaired by spring, but the scars remained. Willow Creek tried to move on, but Karen's shadow lingered. Some said she'd moved away, unable to pay the fine, her house sold, her life dismantled. Others claimed she was still in town, a ghost in her own story, watching the rink from afar. Then came the final twist, the one that broke our hearts. A year later, a letter arrived at the town hall, and signed but unmistakably Karen's. It was an apology, raw and unpolished. I thought I was protecting Lily, it read. I saw that ice, that fall, and I saw her broken. I couldn't let it happen again. I'm sorry. Enclosed was a check, a partial payment toward the fine, scraped together from God knows where. But there was more. A plea for Lily to be welcomed back, to not carry her mother's shame. The town gathered to discuss the letter. Some wanted to return it, calling it too little, too late. Others, like Mia, argued for compassion. She's paid enough, Mia said. Let Lily heal. The vote was close, but the town agreed to lift Lily's unspoken exile, though Karen's ban stood firm. I walked to the rink that night, the ice gleaming under the stars. Kids skated, laughing, oblivious to the ghosts beneath the surface. I thought of Karen, alone somewhere, her life reduced to a single, desperate act. Was she a villain or a victim? Maybe both. The rink was whole again, but the town wasn't. We'd lost something, a piece of our humanity, torn apart by a woman who'd lost hers. Nd.